Hi guys, I am back. I know it's been quite some time, but I am back with my videos. I will try and be very consistent this time around and pre-record videos this time. Now, as you can see by the thumbnail, what we will be doing is prepping my nails, because though I haven't been posting, I have been doing my nails, and this is what my nail looked like after a week of removing a set that I did. I'll probably insert a picture so you can see it above. And I just need to clean and get my nails together and try and help them to stay as healthy and as nicely shaped as possible. So this would be my video on how I get that done. So firstly, I will go ahead and try to clean my dead cuticles from around my nail using my cuticle remover, which everything that I use will be listed above, or actually below, guys. Now I have let that soak. I normally like to start while the remover is still wet. I don't like when the remover has dried on my nails before I start. And I am using this cuticle pusher. I'm not sure what it's called. I think it's a cuticle pusher that has two different shapes at the end. I normally don't use this side, to be honest with you, but I'm realizing that I have been missing out. It's quite useful in helping to push the cuticles back, to get underneath the cuticles, as you can see there, and to get a lot of the dead flesh from under the nails. This section is a bit sharper sometimes, so you have to be very careful with how you use it, guys. I am a DIYer. I'm not a licensed nail technician, so yeah, we're just learning as we go along. I do try to be very careful because this is a very new pusher and it's quite sharp. So though the video seems like I'm going very fast, I'm actually going very slow. It has been sped up for viewing purposes, but I'm going very slow because you really have to be very careful, because the aim is to, as I always say in my videos, is to have nice nails, but also to ensure that you're protecting your natural nails. We never want to damage our actual natural nails at all. So I'm going very slow and I'm going around the cuticle. As you can see there, the gunk that's built up, residue from the dead flesh, residue from the glue that I used when I had on my persons, all of that is being cleaned off with the Blue Cross nail cuticle remover that I am using. And I've had this for a couple years, I want to say. Yeah, it's the same one I've always mentioned in all my other videos. It's literally almost finished, so I need to replace it soon, but it does the job. I'm pretty happy with it. It is a 6 fluid ounce bottle and it has lasted me quite some time, because as you can see early in the video, I do use a cotton swab to apply the liquid around my cuticles as I need as I go along. And yeah, I do the same procedure. Do stick around to see how I clean my nails, how I reshape my nails, and also how I do apply the builder gel to help to strengthen the nails. And I am going to test out to see if I can actually wear press-ons or do gel X over the builder gel, because sometimes not sometimes, all the times my nails are a bit weak in natural life, but even after, especially after I do gel X or I do press-ons, they come out a bit weak, and I want to maintain that strength and sturdiness of the nails. So I'll be testing that out as we go along in the upcoming months. But this is what we're looking like with our nails thus far, with all the dead flesh cleaned off. I do ensure that I just get the dead flesh. There's a layer over your cuticle, not your cuticle, but there's a layer over your nails that protects your nails. I did not want to scrape that off. It's very careful that you don't scrape that off, because the Blue Cross remover is a bit strong sometimes and it can lead to that if you're not careful. So yeah, after I have removed as much as I can with the remover, I do go in with my nipper and I get anything that would be left over, along with getting the dead cuticle nipped off, this is where you have to be very careful, because if you're not, the point of the nipper, you can actually cut yourself, and I've done that quite a number of times. But it's nothing bad, it heals. It hurts, but it does heal, and you move along. But if you go very slowly, especially if your nipper is very new, then you will have no issues. As you can see there, all I'm getting is the very edge, which is the actual dead skin of the cuticle. If you go any deeper than I'm going, this is where you're getting live tissue, and this is where you're gonna cut yourself. Especially at the corners is where I have the difficulty. That's where I normally cut myself a lot, going around the corners, especially if I'm videoing, because it's so hard to maneuver underneath the camera sometimes. That's where I normally have a bunch of issues. But I was very slow this time, and as you can see, that's the dead skin only. We are taking nothing else but the dead skin. Remember, we are protecting our nails, protecting our skin. We just want to keep everything nice and clean and smooth. We're not trying to destroy anything at all. Now, going in to the sides, I normally have rough sides. I'm not too sure if anyone else have this, but I have rough sides around the tips of my fingers. So I normally go in with a little extra nipping at that corner, and of course I will repeat the process for all the nails, which I will show you. If you already know how to do this and you're not interested, you could skip ahead to when I'm applying the builder gel and how I apply my builder gel. And if you stay tuned, guys, you will see how 1 week worth of this preparation and application, how it looks on my nail. It has been 1 week since I've actually recorded and done this process, and I'll be showing you what my nails look like. Everything is still intact. I'm so surprised. I followed a new method that I saw on one of my YouTube videos I was watching from another creator, and it looks like it actually works. I didn't have any lifting with my builder gel at all, which I'm so surprised. I normally have lifting at the cuticle area, but not cuticle, but at the tip, but I didn't have any this time around. So yeah, as you can see there, my nails are a bit weak, and they're naturally a bit weak, to be honest with you. So I do try to keep them short. I remember when I was younger, I had thicker-ish nails because I used to grow them out and polish them like they were, extensions, like I had on extensions. I don't know what happened over the years. I'm not too sure if it's because I do the press-ons or what caused it for them to be a bit this weak, though they were normally weak still, but yeah. Anyways, so I do cut my nails down, cut off all those just to help reshape everything. And I was using an old file, but then I realized the old file was too old, so I switched it for one of my new files, and I'm using the 80 grit size, 100 by 80. I believe it's 100 by 80. Yes, I'm using 100 by 180, and I'm using the 100 side to just reshape my natural nail beds themselves and try and get everything in order, especially the corners. I realize my nails, they kind of grow spread out, and as far as I can remember, I need to look on my old cameras for my pictures. I don't remember my nails growing like that, so I'm not too sure what happened. My theory is that doing the press-ons and gel X, the tips are too small, so I probably force them on, and then that causes the spreading of my natural nails. I don't know. Like, you guys let me know if that's a good theory to have. That's the theory I have now. That's what I'm working with for now, because I'm not too sure of any other explanation. But yeah, that's what I'm working with for now. So I've shaped all my nails to my desired shape, and then I go back in with a nipper because I need to clean out under my nails, because sometimes you have skin growing under your nails, and sometimes when you file depending on how you file, you may have the nail that you filed going on, the debris going under your nail. So I am cleaning that out. Then I do go in with a buffing block and buff everything just to smooth everything down. And if I have any free bees or anything that's still hanging off after that, then I will see those and I could just nip them off to ensure I have a clean finish, which is what you see that I'm doing right now. Just any strays that were left because I didn't see them, I could go in and just take those off as best as possible. During this process, this is where you have to be very careful because sometimes I am tempted to clip everything that I see, like every little stray, every little white spot, everything I'm tempted to clip, which you can't clip everything because that's live tissue that you're clipping. But that's what we look like thus far with cleaning my nails, shaping my nails. And now we're going in with doing the builder gel, and I'm using the method that I saw from one of these, I believe she's Russian, a Russian manicurist. So I'm following her method and let's see if it works, which, spoiler alert, it did actually work because I have no lifting of any of my nails and it's been a week. Normally about this time I have like 1 or 2 nails that are lifting or are already chipped off. So yeah, I am going in with, firstly, of course, the base coats, and I'm using the builder gel from Rajazim. It says builder gel, it also says rubber base gel, so I guess it's a 2-in-1, and I will show you the color or the number in a moment. I believe I do show it. If not, it's in the description. I'm going in with a very, very, very thin layer, and I'm not going close to the cuticle. This is where I normally have issues also. I go too close to the cuticle because in my head I have to, but you really don't, and you really should not. If you watch the process, I'm going in with a very, 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 very thin layer, and I'm ensuring that I stay as far away from the cuticle as I can, especially at the sides, very especially at the sides and at the tip. And I do cure. If you can see, like, this is what normally happens. This is the nail I just did over here, and this is the nail that I did before, and you can see that the gel is already separating because I guess I'm not working fast enough and it separates, and then you get clumps, and this is how you get air bubbles, and it lifts. So my method is just to work smartly and slowly. So I go back in, I smooth everything out with the brush, and I cure my nails one at a time. So I do the first layer of one nail, the very first thin layer of one nail with the rubber base, and then I cure that. I flash cure it just to help with the time so it doesn't move. So I flash cure it for 10 seconds, and then I go back and will repeat the process. As you can see the difference between the 2 nails there. So I am redoing this nail and ensuring that the first layer is as thin as possible because I'm trying to eliminate any air bubbles at all, and that's what we're looking like. I do then flash cure for 10 seconds, and I repeat the process with the other nails where I individually do them one at a time and flash cure all fingers individually for 10 seconds so I don't have the nail seeping back up to the center and then creating a lot of bubbles or a unsturdy foundation for my second coat, if that's a better explanation for you guys. And believe me, it has worked. It may be a bit longer, but the aim is to have the best end result, and for me this is how I get the best end result. So I am at my last nail, which is the pinky. I've already did the first layer for all the other 4 fingers, flash cure them, and I'm going in, as you can see, with the pinky. I'm being very slow. This part of the video is in real time so that you can see what I am doing and how slow I'm going. If I have any mishaps, I go in with a flat brush and I ensure I clean that as best as possible. Now this is what we're looking like with the first layer done, the first flash cure for 10 seconds for all my fingers, and we're not looking too bad, to be honest with you. Now, oh yes, this is the first layer for my thumb. I haven't done that, but this is a perfect view and a perfect example of what I do or did on the other fingers to ensure that I have the end result that I wanted, which you will see at the end of the video. At this point, truly, I believe I could just do a fill-in, to be honest with you, which I think I'll make a video on that, but stay tuned for that. So I'm going in again. I am applying a very thin layer because I realize I don't have the skill set yet to do what I see the other creators do, where they go in with a thin layer and then they go in with a bigger chunk uncured on the first layer, on top of the first layer, and then they do that swiveling thing to build up the nail. That's what I did on my other first attempts on doing using a rubber base or using a tinted builder gel, and it didn't work for me because I always end up with clumps, and that's how I end up with lifting and chipping because I didn't have the skill set as of yet. But this method works just fine for me, and my aim is not to really create any form of apex or anything. It's just to protect my nails, so I'm fine with it being flat. So yeah, and this is the method I was speaking about that I saw the creator did. She applied the first layer very thinly, then she wiped off the stacky layer, then she buffed the very first layer of the rubber base or the builder gel, whatever you're using. She buffed it with a buffing block, and I don't know, but I think it's working, guys. It's been 1 week. So she buffed it with a buffing block, and then she of course went in and cleaned the nail with a alcohol wipe after, which you'll see me do. But she buffed the entire nail, so I'm going around, and this is what the first layer looks like, as you can see, of the nail. And after I've buffed it, the first layer of the rubber base, and then I already cleaned it with a alcohol pad, and then I'm going in with my second layer of the rubber base gel, which I'm also ensuring that this second layer is as thin as can be. I'm pulling everything down, everything out, everything flat. I'm not doing the normal method that you guys see where they swivel with a big dot, a big amount, because for me it creates a lot of bubbles and just bubbles and introduce lifting. So yeah, and again, if you have any mishap, go in with a flat brush and some alcohol, and you just clean that up as best as possible. Try and stay away from your cuticles, try and stay away from the ends or the sides of your nail bed. And then I do go in and try to cap, as you can see there, the tip of my nail bed. I cure that again for 10 seconds, and I'm going in on the second finger doing the very same thing I did already. I did not apply any base coat after I did the second buffing on top of the first layer of rubber base. I just went back with the same rubber base on top of that buffed layer and doing the same process, ensuring everything is flat. I have no bubbles, I have no dead spots anywhere, and then I go in with the tip and try and cap the nail because I always have lifting from the tips mostly of my nails, because you know, during your daily life and activity, what you're in a lot of water, you may have lifting and the water goes under, and it just helps wear and tear, and it slips under and helps with the lifting. So I'm trying to cap that. Remember, I'm not a licensed nail tech, I'm just a DIYer. I watch a lot of videos and I'm just trying out to see what works for me, which is what you guys would have to do also. Try and see what works for you. What works for me may not work for you, but it's just always good to try, because you never know until you actually try. So yeah, doing the same thing again. As you can see, I have a lot of spillage there. If I cured that, I'll also show at the end of the video what that looks like if you have this mishap and you cure it, and this could also lead to a lot of lifting in the future of the nail. In me, not always, but it may. So that's what the nail looked like with the second layer. As you can see, I'm not close to the cuticles. I cured that for 10 seconds. So everything was cured for 10 seconds individually, and then once I finish all the nails, and I go back in and I cure it for 60 seconds. and twice actually. There's nothing wrong with over curing, which I always prefer to over cure than under cure, because then you'll have to start all over if it's not cured properly, especially if your lamp is a bit old like mine. So I, just to be safe, I double cure for 60 seconds. After I've done that second layer cured and done, I go back in and I wipe off again the tacky layer. If your gel rubber base comes with a tacky layer, I wipe that off, and then I'm going in to file the nail again. This is where I was a bit skeptical, because the creator, if I find, I'll link her video at the bottom, or her name, so you can look it up if you're interested. She did not go back into file. She just capped everything with a top coat. But I went back in and I filed again, because I just thought it would be a good idea. And I think, I may be wrong, I saw some other creator a couple years go back in and file, and I thought, okay, let's try these two methods and see what works. In my head, I think this helps. I don't know. So I dust off the excess dust, and this nail I realized was missing a little gel, so I went back in to cover the entire nail. I did buff again and everything. I went back in to cover the nail, and I'm refiling as I did after the second coat to kind of give a crisper look. And for me, I think it's better to refile before you actually apply the top coat, because if you, in my head, if you apply the top coat first and then refile the nail, you're filing off that protective layer of the top coat that you would have used to cap the end of the nails. So that will help to introduce early lifting. So that's how I work it out in my head. That's why I prefer to file before and then go in with the top coat after, and then cap everything over. So yeah, now we're going in with a top coat. This top coat is just a normal top coat that I got from my beauty supply store, because my regular ones were finished and I didn't want to order any. So yeah, I'm going in. I go in with a generous layer of this. Normally I go in with a thin layer, and that may have been one of the issues too with my older process of applying rubber base. So I'm going in, as you can see, with a generous layer. And I do this one at a time. So I do go in with a layer and then I flash cure it for the 10 seconds. I did the same thing again for all nails. And then I do go in to try and get, as you can see, I'm pushing the top coat up to the tips, the cuticles of my nails, and I'm going in to try and cap the ends, as I see my nail tech do. I don't do my own feet. I have someone that does that for me, and she always does that. So I'm trying that method to cap. So yeah, and I'm capping with the top coat, and as stated, I go in with a generous amount because I want to have a generous thick layer to protect the nail itself, so I have a longer wear. So that's what I'm doing, and so far it seems to be working. As stated, no lifting yet, which is great. If you've reached this far, guys, thank you so much for watching. I know I've been talking a lot, but I really had to talk through this video because I think it's easier if I had explained what I'm doing, though you can see what I'm doing, just to talk you through the process and why I did what I did. So this is where we stand with all the nails flash cured, and then all the nails cured for 60 seconds twice. And I'm very proud of myself. I really like this end application, to be honest with you. There is a little bit of a stray there that I had to nip off. And you may have that at the end of your nails, guys, which is totally fine. Just nip it off and you be good. So yeah, everything has been cured twice. We're all good. We're done. And I do then go in with some cuticle oil just to smooth everything over, you know, and give everything a nice look. Hydrate my nails because I've been scraping and cleaning and, you know, all these things. So I go back in with some cuticle oil to try and rejuvenate back my nails. I already did my right hand off camera, as you can see there, and of course my left hand is going to be way neater because I'm right-handed. But yeah, I did that off camera because it would have been so much easier. So I did that, and I'm going in with some cuticle oil for this finger, and we would be all done. So yeah, if you've reached this far, again guys, thank you so much for watching, and look forward to my update on what my nails look like, and look forward to my other videos coming out. I really have some nail designs that I really want to try, so we'll be trying them. I hope you stick around for that. And yeah, if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section. I'll also be leaving the products I use in the description section, and stay tuned so you could see what my 1 week old nails look like. Bye. Okay guys, I am back now. This is what my nails look like after 1 week of wear, 1 week of application. As you can see, I have a little bit of growth, and there's no lifting at all on my right hand, well, on any of my hands, my left hand. So that is great, which means this new process actually does work. Really, I think I could even do a fill in with this builder gel in another week, to be honest with you. Now this is my right hand. So my right hand wasn't done as good, which is fine. I did that off camera, and I did that, I wouldn't say in a rush, but you know, I'm right-handed, so it's not going to be perfect. I just need to practice. As you can see, this is what I was trying to avoid. This is what I normally get on some of my fingers on both hands with my older process. I have none on my left hand, which is great, which means the process does work. I just need to be a bit better when doing my right hand, because you know, it's non-dominant. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in my next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.